What's up, your boy Domuto. We back with another video today watching Beyond Dragon Ball Super. Demon God Raijin annihilates Zalama. Rebellious battle in Demon Realm. Alright, shit. You know, last time we watched Zalama got caught up, you know what I'm saying? So, we about to see, man. Hopefully Zalama. Nah, he should, oh, well, said annihilate. Never mind, he cooked. Anyway, you better get into it, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and there you go.
As our story now continues, following the initial interrogation events within the Demon Realm, showcasing both the Supreme Demon God Raijin and the creator of the Super Dragon Ball Zalama, as with Zalama continuing to now refuse and giving up the information of the whereabouts of the configuration cubes to Raijin, as Raijin was then shown standing from his throne, was when Raijin then went on to quickly respond, "I must admit, however, Zalama, that your resistance is admirable, for there is a fire in you that I did not expect from a mere creator, a defiant ember that is so desperately flickering in the face of an unstoppable storm. But let us not go and pretend that this bravery of yours is anything but a wasted effort in your attempts of surviving me, Guardian, which is exactly why you will not go on to have this end the way in which you hope for, since you have already went and sealed your fate by defying my law, Creator. For bravery is but a fine quality in the strong," Raijin continues, "but for the weak, for those that are at their most vulnerable, such as you, it is nothing more than a death wish, Zalama, for you are now cornered, outmatched, and overpowered, and yet you still choose to persist, despite in further knowing that you could never beat me," Raijin continues, "and how utterly foolish for you to even go as far as to try, and with that fallen angel's power now one with my very own, how could you ever go and hope to rival me when you can barely even go on to catch your breath, Guardian? Or do you truly believe that by standing firm in your insignificant convictions makes you noble? No, Zalama, it makes you delusional, for it makes you a fool, and because this goes on to make you a fool, does it only mean that you no longer serve a purpose in existing within my utopia. But then, it was only just upon with the four Dark Masters having to now reach the God King Mountain and having to further address Raijin was when Toro went on to then quickly respond, "Venerable Lord Raijin, we hate to go and inform you about this, but the Super Dragon Balls have been stolen from us while we were here alongside with you during the moments of your great..." "Enough," Raijin went on to then quickly interrupt, "for you are too late, Dark Lords, for I was already able to get down onto the bottom of who it was that had taken them away from you, for it just so happened to have come from none other than its very own creator who suffers behind me in its guardian, Zalama." "The creator of the Super Dragon Balls," the Dark Master Bakara went on to then quickly ask, "so that was who it was that had been seeking us within the time chamber and taking those orbs away when we were just inside. But how did Lord Raijin go on to know?" With Toro responding, "Well, from what it looks like, Lord Raijin had likely always known of Zalama by name, but with that fallen angel's power intact alongside his own, Lord Raijin was more than likely able to trace the signal of Zalama's attempt of taking the Dragon Balls back, which would only likely explain on how he was able to go and target his very location and bring him within the Demon Realm," as Raijin then went on to then drop Zalama behind him by then responding, "Your resolve in thinking that you can go and lie to my face amuses me, Guardian, for you hold tight to your secrets as if they will go on to save you, but tell me, what has defiance ever done for the weak such as yourself, Zalama? For it will not go as far as to shield you, nor would it, as it would only most certainly not go on to spare your life either, for it will only go as far as to prolong your suffering, as within that time you are to go and suffer for your lies and rebellion, as you will hereby happen to suffer here and now. And so I hereby implore for you to go and cherish these final moments while you still can, because these will be the last of your moments here before I am to destroy you." "Oh, I was a fool to think that deception would go and work against him," Zalama went on to then quickly utter, for he sees through my every word and my every move, so lying to him about the configuration cubes was never going to work, for he knows that I hold the knowledge that he seeks and is willing to do whatever it is that must be done if it means pulling that information out of me. But I cannot go and give that monster what he wants, especially not now. Because if this beast were to go and gain access to all three of those configuration cubes, Zalama continues, then it'll be the end of everything across every known world and timeline as we know it. And if that ultimately means that I must go and lay my life down in order to make sure that he doesn't go and get what he's looking for, then so be it. For the order of the gods must be kept and protected at all costs, and if that ultimately means that I will need to go and wage a war with you in order to help secure it, Zalama shouts, then that is exactly what it is that I am going to go and do. For an abomination such as yourself is going to be punished for the crimes in which you have committed.
Hey Zalama, I like to try, bro.
Necessary.
I like the attempt.
Despite with Zalama being shown having to blast Raijin from behind as the other Dark Masters went on to look on, was when Gira then went on to quickly respond. How dare that fool go and try to sneak attack Lord Raijin like that and expect to go and get away with it. And so come now, Dark Lords, let us go and tear that Guardian into pieces for daring to go and defy Lord Raijin's command. But then, it was only just upon with Toro having to quickly interrupt by having to stop Gira was when Toro went on to then quickly respond, we will not, Gira, for we will wait here and remain where we are unless Lord Raijin were to go and give us the order to go and step in and take care of that Guardian ourselves upon his very own command, for we are to not go and get in the way of his business unless we are called forward onto doing so, Dark Lords, and so now we will wait. As Raijin then went on to address Zalama by responding, surely you must have known that this wouldn't work here against me, Zalama, or did you truly believe in your heart of hearts that a divine craftsman such as yourself could ever go as far as to harm a supreme demon god of my caliber? Now did you? For you are no warrior creator, and so you may have been able to go and do damage onto others with an attack like that, but you seem to be forgetting one very crucial element here, Fiend, and that is I am not like the others, and so while you may go and attempt to go and try your little stunt of yours once more, heed my warning that there will be no corner of this multiverse that you will be able to go and run off to that I won't be able to go and find you, Zalama. And so now ask yourself if your life is truly as valuable as you believe for it to be, because you are only but a few short moments away from having me take it from you. And so I ask you here again,
you thought you some big shit.
Where is the configuration cube and what did you go on to do with it, Zalama? Hand over the relic in which I seek and I will offer you a quick and painless end as promised, but if you choose to continue to defy me, then I will reveal unto you the true horrors that lie deep within me, Guardian, for you are now here left with no other choice. With Zalama having to then stick both arms out by then responding, no, demon, and that is where you are wrong, because I in fact do have a choice, and that choice will be to go and stand at the forefront of your tyranny, whether I am limited to your realm by using my power or not. For I will never go on to hand over the secrets of the great beyond to the likes of you, and since I choose to stand in opposition here against you,
I fuss with the tribe, man.
My last dying breath if I need to, especially if it means having to protect the sanctity over all existence as we know it, and having to go as far as to make sure to do everything within my power to make sure that you are never able to have it your way. And while you may indeed be far stronger than I am within the moment, Zalama continues, I know for a fact that you are without some kind of a weakness, demon. To which it was only despite with Zalama's best efforts, as Zalama was shown having to blast Raijin several times over, was when Raijin then further went on to utter beneath the smoke by then responding, is that so? Very well then, Guardian, suit yourself. As the Dark Master Gira then went on to quickly respond, oh, this is just absurd, for we shouldn't just stand around here and watch him go and do this, because who are we to go and say that this creator isn't going to go and further damage Lord Raijin if he continues to go and attack him like this, Gira questions? For we mustn't just go on to watch this go down, especially if Lord Raijin is to go and need us down there. As Jogo went on to then quickly respond, that Guardian is going and taking this way too far, and we must must not go and allow for him to go and continue to attack Lord Raijin like this, for we are to hurry in. But then, it was only just upon with Toro being shown having to stop Jogo in his place was when Toro then went on to quickly respond, "You will not, Jogo, for it was as I had just said, for we will go and wait here and not stand in Lord Raijin's way of handling his business unless we are to go and be called forth into combat by his very own command. Because while it may seem as though Zalama has Lord Raijin's number by blasting him with such attacks," Toro continues, "I will need for the four of you to go and look a little closer, for Lord Raijin is in full control despite in having him seem defenseless out there against Zalama," to which as Zalama was then shown ceasing his fire was when Zalama then went on to respond, "There we are, for that should have been enough to at least go and slow him down, but even though I know that this was certainly not enough to go and put this beast down, I must go on and hurry and try to go and find my way out of here before it's too late," Zalama says.
It might be too late.
I cannot possibly go and leave this up to chance since I am at a complete disadvantage while remaining in this realm, and so I have to hurry. And but then, it was only within that very moment, seconds after, behind the smoke, as Raijin went on to address Zalama before Zalama even had the chance to finish his sentence, was when Raijin then went on to quickly respond, "That was quite the bold attempt of you of trying to go and defy me the way you did by attacking me head on with such attacks. However," Raijin says, "you were foolish to have even dared to go and try to do what you just did, and so now it's my turn to show you how it's truly done, Zalama." To which, terrifyingly enough, within that very moment, as dozens of death beams were then shown exiting through the smoke and having to penetrate and pierce through Zalama's body, was when Raijin then went on to continue, "For you had been given more than enough warnings to know that I wasn't bluffing about what it was that I had said which was going to happen to you, Zalama.
That nigga poking that
Utterly
nigga.
pathetic of you to even go as far as to try, Zalama. Now tell me, did you really think that this would truly go any other way in your attempts of trying to go and defy me? For you should have known better than to go and do on what it was that you just did, as you were doomed from the very moment I brought you here," Raijin continues, "and as there wouldn't have been any other outcome that you could have went and hoped for that would have went and changed what was going to happen to you here," Raijin says, "for you are an embarrassment, Zalama, but maybe now you can see on how completely hopeless you truly are here, Guardian," with Zalama responding, "You will never truly win the day in getting what you want."
Tell him he'll rule the day. He'll rule it.
As long as there are those who are willing to go and stand against you, then there will always be a glimmer of hope that will always go and shine through your darkness in allowing for them to prevail over you by the very end," with Raijin responding, "Enough of this, for I have heard all that I needed to hear out of that mouth of yours, and especially since everything that was spewed out of it had nothing to do with what it was that I wanted to go and hear. And so now allow me to go and grace you with the consequences behind such disrespectful actions, Guardian, for let this go and serve as being a painful reminder that I had given you a choice, Zalama." Raijin went on to then lift Zalama up in the air by then responding, "And then so now watch carefully, as I will hereby now begin to show you, and as I had went and allowed for you to be given multiple chances to go and bend the knee in recognizing the futility of your resistance by handing over the information behind the configuration cubes that you guard, and yet you still choose to struggle rather than choose to live. And since you chose to suffer rather than relinquish the information that I've been looking for, I am going to hereby go and punish you in ways in which not even your deepest, darkest nightmares can possibly introduce to you," Raijin continues, "and while your Dragon Balls have given me everything that I've been longing for prior to having you steal them away from me, I will hereby now enact upon you 2 severe punishments for daring to defy my law. So for starters, I will hereby enact upon you 2 severe punishments for daring to defy my law, and so now for starters, let us go and begin with your rebellion by seizing control of the Super Dragon Balls before we can go and finish by using them, as this, dear old Guardian, will ultimately become the punishment in resulting in your body being torn apart limb by limb, so that you may go and understand the consequences behind your refusal to go and obey the new chain of command within the multiverse. For there is no one who is coming for you, Zalama, as this was always going to be your fate, to be
Oh.
torn apart, humiliated, and erased
took that
from
nigga
Utopia
hard.
without a trace of you being left
Sorry, I'm
behind.
not talking, I'm just...
And as such, Raijin continues, I will go on to lay claim to your heart as a token of my victory, and as you were always useless to me, Zalama, for you were a service-playing god, and now you will be remembered as not a legend, and not as some great divine craftsman of your kind, but as a fool who dared to oppose the Most High, only to be annihilated like the animal that you are, Raijin says. And so now, to honor your life, I will feast upon your heart with glee, as this is the price that you will have to pay for thinking that you can challenge me. And so now, from this moment forward, not only will your name be forgotten, but your legacy will be erased, Zalama, as you were never meant to last beyond your purpose, and I am the force that will go on to rewrite history itself as the one true God King among the hierarchy of the divine, to which as Raijin went on to then snap his fingers, it was only then within that very moment as Zalama's body went on to instantaneously erupt with a massive explosion was when Raijin then went on to continue, and as I will go on to reign supreme over all life as you come to watch over, as one way or another I will find and obtain those configuration cubes, with or without your existence, Guardian, to which it was only shortly after, with all four Dark Masters then shown having to rendezvous and having to address Raijin, was when Toro went on to then quickly respond, Venerable Lord Raijin, for we are here and at your service and ready to go and do thy bidding.
I ain't gonna lie,
Great
nigga,
One.
eating your heart is crazy.
It would seem as though you have already figured out on who it was that had taken the Super Dragon Balls away from us and having it be Zalama. We hereby stand before you in honoring your name as we await for you to go and tell us on what is it you would want for us to go and do next, O great Lord Raijin, with Raijin responding, alas, the so-called creator and the guardian of the Super Dragon Balls is no more. And with his legacy destroyed and with his memory erased, this was the price that he had to go and pay for daring to lie and defy me the way he did. And with the knowledge that we have gathered and with the secrets that we have extracted, Raijin continues, now that we have identified the last remaining strongholds of defiance across the multiverse, now will be the time where you will go on to wipe them all out from the face of existence, Dark Lords, as I expect for no sanctuary to remain and let no resistance be what is left standing, Raijin says, and as I shall feast upon Zalama's heart, for it has been countless generations since I was last able to taste the blood of a divine heart such as this, but even now, my order is to stand unchallenged until it is complete, Raijin continues, as those who once thought themselves as champions of order and protectors of justice will soon be purged from the very face of existence, and I mean all of them, for those who cannot be persuaded or convinced into joining our ranks are to be gutted like animals and to be eliminated without a trace.
Raijin about to ramp it up.
As with all of the information that you have collected, which of these 12 universes is the one which houses the strongest and most defiant mortal warriors, Raijin questions, for I would like to go and know on which of these of the 12 is going to prove to be the most challenging, with Toro responding, well, while the data we have collected on all 12 universes gives us an accurate description on which of these universes will go and pose the greatest danger to our reign, the top 3 universes according to our calculations which happen to house the most rebellious warriors who will directly stand to oppose our laws are going to be Universe 6, Universe 11, and at number 1, Universe 7, Toro continues, as with our forces now ready and with our elite demons on standby and waiting for your order to move into their rightful places, what are you to go and do in the meantime while we are to purge the multiverse of its most troublesome warriors, Lord Raijin? Because now that you are very much well aware of Zalama's lies behind what he knows of the configuration cubes, along with its whereabouts, do you happen to go and plan on pursuing this endeavor in attempts to get down to the bottom of where this may be, or will you somehow instead go and try to go after the Super Dragon Balls in retrieving them so that we may go and be able to continue with our plans, oh great one, with Raijin responding, what I intend on doing first is to go and seize control of the first configuration cube from Mechikabura's control, and as I will then move onwards in locating and collecting the final 2 cubes and therefore finally completing my mission, as the Super Dragon Balls will shortly follow suit once I am able to gather together all 3 of the configuration cubes, and then, only then, will the Super Dragon Balls be used to go and forge a new beginning for us here. But tell me, why is Universe 7 housed as the most troublesome universe to deal with among the 12 Raijin questions? For I don't happen to recall anything special about that universe that had struck me as alarming as when I was there, and so now tell me on what it is that you know, Toro. For I would like to know on why this happens to now be the case, with Toro responding, well, its mortal warriors appear to be far larger in number when compared to the rest of the other universes, and from what I have gathered, it would only appear as though the ones who are known as both Goku and Vegeta were one of the lead members in going as far as to help bring down the fallen angel Murno, and because Universe 7 appears to house several others who stand alongside with them, Toro continues, they remain at the top of our list as being the most troublesome of the bunch, which is why we are all ready to go and make our move for whenever you deem for the time to be right, Lord Raijin, with Raijin responding, so I see, but while Universe 7 may be a nuisance for the time being, they are still no threat to us, which is why you must ensure that they do not stand within my way, but heed my words, Dark Lords, that unless they are somehow able to go and force my hand in combat due to your own inability to go and destroy them, then I will be left with no other choice than to go and insert myself with extreme prejudice. Do you understand? And so while I am off to go and collect what is owed to me, you are all to go and purge the multiverse of the weak and await my orders once this is all done, Raijin continues, for I have no interest in ruling over a multiverse that still harbors defiance against me. And so because of this, you will go and cleanse it of its most troublesome warriors and ensure that by the time I go and collect the configuration cubes, there is no one left to oppose us, Raijin says. And since I already have a good enough idea on where that placement holder of a so-called demon god Mechikabura is hiding, I will go on to target his sanctuary and pay him a little visit while I extract the first of the 3 cubes from him, as I will only from there move on to locating the second cube soon after, and then, only then, will I lay claim onto the third and final cube alongside with it, as I will have what I've been longing for. And if that wretched Zalama was last seen in having to stand alongside Universe 7's Angel Whis, then I presume that the final configuration cube must be within the domain of Universe 7, Raijin says. But that is for the 4 of you to go and find out while I am gathering the first 2, and so now do not waste a single moment in doing what must be done, so that I may go on to see on what lies beyond on the other side, Dark Lords. For the gates of the great beyond shall be opened, and once they are, I will seize the power that comes alongside with it and lay claim over whatever lies beyond those borders, and I don't expect to go on and fail in having to do so, especially now that my plan is almost near its completion. And so now you will go and do as I say, and you will endure of it accordingly, as Toro went on to address the other Dark Masters by then responding, understood. And so then we will go and move out now while we spread ourselves out and do what must be done in the name of upholding Lord Raijin's honor and title across the multiverse, beginning with Universe 7, as we will go and head out now and deploy our strongest across the cosmos while we wait on Lord Raijin to go and retrieve the configuration cubes, for we will go on to spread ourselves out and do what must be done, while Lord Raijin is to do what must be done in order to continue his reign and wielding complete might over the multiverse. And so now let's go, with Raijin responding, good, very good, and with my plans having to now fall in line with what it was that I had envisioned, it'll only be a matter of time before all 3 cubes are mine for the taking, just as it was when I had sworn to conquer the multiverse before acquiring Murno's power. As soon, very soon, I will have what I have been longing for, and you, Mechikabura, are going to be the first among those who possess the cubes to give it to me. for I also happen to know that you don't know of its true nature like how I know of, and so for the time being, I am glad that you were its placement holder, because soon that cube will belong to me, demon. And then since Zalama had refused in handing over what I've been longing for and ultimately having to pay with his life, if you also happen to go on to do the same by refusing to hand over what I seek from you, Mechikabra, then whether we are both demons by nature or not, I will come for you and shred you into an oblivion, just like I had shredded Zalama, as it was only right then and there during that moment where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Story of the Dark Masters, the official Murno sequel.
That was a cool little chapter. It was just a setup chapter, you know, he just set up the story for the main event. You know, it was pretty, you know, not much action. Zalama's dead, you know, there's not much to that. But anyway, shout out to UnrealEntGaming for this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Check out the last chapter right here. Check out another video you might like right here, and I'll catch y'all next time, man. Peace.